And so when I say Chinese, I want you to scream out the nation that's associated with this. For example, if I say Chinese, you're going to say what?
China.
All right, let's say it with authority. When I say Chinese, you say what? China. All right, that's just a test right there. So here we go. Chinese.
China.
Russian.
Russia.
Italian.
Italy.
German.
Germany.
Swedish.
Sweden.
Korean.
Korea.
Egyptian.
Egypt.
Nigerian.
Nigeria.
Black.
Exactly. Nothing. Tell him, Pastor. Tell him, Pastor. Black, nothing.
I hope you were able to successfully identify the issue.
The lion won't sleep tonight, 'cause we woke now, and we woke now. I said the lion won't sleep tonight, 'cause we woke now, and we woke now. They want us to sell our souls to barter profit, like God's property. It's hard to market, so we steady to aim, keep your eyes on target. 'Cause when you got to drive, yeah, they'd rather you park it. But I don't valet, you ain't getting these keys. I'm keeping closed hands, I'm on bended knee. I'm just a reflection, dealing with 8 sections. Art mixed with life, you can feel the convection. Your lion won't sleep tonight, 'cause we woke now, and we woke now. I said the lion won't sleep tonight, 'cause we woke now, and we woke now. I said
the white man is enacting a story all over the world. We left our homes and flooded the world. We smothered culture. We smothered knowledge. We erased history and rewrote it our way. Myself, my grandfather is 100% Ashkenazi Jewish. Claiming to be Jewish, Ashkenazi Jewish is just a conspiracy. White men claiming to be of tribes of Israel when I'm Germanic. You know, I have no ties to Israel, no ties to Judaism. You know, except loosely written history that's been whitewashed over for centuries. And, you know,
from the Renaissance.
Oh yeah, right. You wipe everything clean. It's funny how exactly the Renaissance. It's this rebirth, but it's white rebirth. I think at the same exact time the Renaissance is happening, Columbus is sailing to America and committing genocide.
There's only one true ethnic Jew, the Mizrahi Jew, because they are Africans, and if you read the original Bible written in Phoenician Hebrew, they're not. Jewish people are not Europeans. The modern Jews in Israel are Russians or Khazars to be precise, from Russia. I learned it from my grandfather that because he was an Ashkenazi Jew.
This story begins in October 1949, 1 year after Israel's formation. This is when Netanyahu was born, the second child of a historian. His paternal grandfather was a rabbi and a Zionist writer. His name was Nathan Milikowski. Later in life, he Hebraized his surname from Milikowski to Netanyahu, a name which means God has given.
This is Yair Netanyahu's DNA test that has been leaked. You can see right there his Y DNA is RM198. Descendants of RM198 come from Poland, Russia, Germany, and other European countries. Does this look Semitic to you? Does this look Middle Eastern?
I'm about to show you something extremely controversial. It's even illegal in the state of Israel. Ladies and gentlemen, my DNA. Now, I bet you thought it was going to be a lot crazier than that.
This TikTok caused a storm online, with many debating what his results, which show no trace of being from Palestine or the Middle East, despite being Jewish, mean. DNA testing to prove Jewish ancestry is a hot-button political issue in Israel. For example, Israel's chief rabbinate has pushed for the ancestry DNA tests to be allowed to prove Jewishness in certain cases. In particular, many Jews who have emigrated to Israel from the Soviet Union, who may not have had the necessary paperwork that shows they are Jewish, have sought to get genetic tests done to show they are Jews. In 2019, a political scandal erupted when it appeared Russian Jews were secretly submitting DNA tests to the rabbinate in order to obtain the right to move to Israel.
You say, well, where did the name Ashkenazi came from? So, a little over 1,000 years ago, as Jewish people scattered around the world had now emigrated in Europe and now were living in the Rhineland in Germany, they looked at the name Gomer in Genesis 10, and they connected Gomer with Germany, so they took on the identity of the name Ashkenaz. It has nothing to do with Ashkenaz in the Bible, which is a descendant of Japhet. It's just a name that was taken. Okay, it's that simple. Just like my last name Brown doesn't refer to the color of my skin. Just like my last name Brown doesn't refer to the color of my skin.
Just like my last name Brown doesn't refer to the color of my skin.
Michael Brown, I am Caucasian. Just like my last name Brown doesn't refer to the color of my skin or anything else. It was shortened from a Russian name when my grandfather came over at Ellis Island. The name got shortened to Brown. It's just a name. That's all it is. So the idea that Ashkenazi Jews are descended from Japhet is a myth, 100% false, zero truth to it. Just study the history.
That's what the Zionists did, except instead of a baseball team, they went to try to convince the Jews that the Jewish people are a nation, like France and like Spain. We'll get a land, that's Israel, that's our stadium. We'll get baseball bats and balls. We'll create a language. They sat down to create a language because nations need languages. They sat down to create a language because nations need languages. They sat down to create a language. They sat down to create a language.
They sat down to create a language.
You can convert to Judaism. You can't convert to a blood family. You cannot convert to a race. Judaism is a religion. That's all it is. Judaism is a religion. That's all it is.
Judaism is a religion. That's all it is.
You know what you are? You're an ancient Israelite.
Ancient Israelite, that's who we are. That's who we are. So if you give me time, if you give me time, all that he said,
no, we don't have.
So many years.
I know. Look at this. This is pages and pages of notes, and I promise we'll give more teaching. But here is my challenge to you.
All right.
I'm hearing some of your traditions. It's like the days of the Bible.
Yes.
Do you want to remain ancient Israelites, or you want to be Jews? Do you want to remain?
Here's what I would like to say to you, Rabbi, since you're quoting scripture, okay? The one that's relevant to me is woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness. And if you'd like to dive into a little more scripture, I think what's relevant is Revelation 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. And I'm speaking directly to you, Rabbi Shmuley. Revelation 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie.
Revelation 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie.
And I'm speaking directly to you, Rabbi Shmuley. And I'm speaking directly to you, Rabbi Shmuley.
And I'm speaking directly to you, Rabbi Shmuley.
The fact that you would try to say, I am Jewish, and this is what I believe, and do and say the things that you are doing. People can see and hear evil, and what you are doing right now is an act of evil. The lies that you are telling, not just on me, but also on my family members, are a good example for the world to see what we are referring to when we call something radical Zionism.
The entire Bible is about black people. Not only was Jesus black, but every character in the Bible seems to be black too. Yeah, Zephaniah and Jeremiah and Jebediah, those all aren't white people names, okay? And Jesus wasn't some tan, partially melanated Middle Eastern person either. I'm talking straight up black dude, okay? Even in the book of Revelation, when you get the vision of Daniel, he's describing someone with feet like burnt brass and white woolly hair, and we've got the deep running water voice with the red eyes, and you guys, he's black. The Jewish people are black people, like Kanye was right.
Hitler was, and the Nazis, of course, expanded on Margaret Sanger's approach to eugenics, right? Eugenics was a movement that was born in the United States under hard doctrines of racism with the intent of eliminating the tribe of Judah in the African-American community in this country, right? To eliminate them with the intent of eliminating the tribe of Judah, with
the intent of eliminating the tribe of Judah in the African American community in this country, right? To eliminate them.
Genesis chapter 11, verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this fact, they can't laugh at you. If you repeat this fact, they can't laugh at you. If you repeat this fact, they can't laugh at you.
I want to say peace and blessings to you guys. Hope and pray all is well. I know many of you guys was anticipating the live that I was going to do, dealing with Kanye West. And I'm going to deal with that with an upload. I'm going to put it in the form of a documentary, a short documentary, just laying out some information to really answer the question whether or not, if there's a method to the madness that we see. And so initially I was going to do a live. I was going to do it Friday night. Then I pushed it to which Friday night technically is Shabbat night, but I pushed it to last night. But as I was going through it to prepare for the presentation for last night, I kind of, have been going the neo route. Do you really want to know how far the rabbit hole go? And so I chose to go further, right? Chose to go further so that way I can really, touch on it with accuracy. And surprisingly, there's some information that I came across that's going to surprise a lot of you guys. And really want to highlight a pattern when it comes to speaking against certain communities and how they are portrayed as being crazy, being portrayed as being evil, being portrayed as losing their minds. And you see this pattern even within the community of the name stealers. There is a pattern to this. And I want to make sure that when I present this information, I want to make sure that I'm presenting the information accurately. I want to make sure that there is no holes. There's no potential unanswered questions. I want to make sure that when I do present this information, it's in a way that it cannot be taken down. Family, that's one of the things I've learned through doing these videos, is how to present the information in a certain way, so that way my videos don't get taken down. And for some of you guys that have been following me for a while, you guys know that a ton of my videos were taken down because of, especially when we was dealing with the time of COVID and me going hard at Biden. I was on the brink of having the channel completely removed, right? So, the only thing that they can do about, when I say they, these so-called powers that be, the only thing that they can do now is filter your channel like mine, put filters on it to keep it at a certain number. And that's what's happening right now, is that they literally, when I say they they put filters and shadow bands on my videos to where so it's not getting the reach that it would normally get. It was like a flip of a switch. So I'm going to do a video and take my time with that because I want to make sure that when I present this information to you guys have, with confidence, the information. You have the information and it's with accurate and properly vetting sources that I'm going to use. And it's going to, some of it may sound a little conspiratorial, but that's what happens, unfortunately, with a lot of the truth, right? When I say we've been bamboozled to take conspiratorial, a lot of theories and stuff like that, and apply it to when there's actual things that are being revealed for as truthful things. So again, I don't want to be long-winded, but we want to get into the lesson here. But I just want to take the time out to talk to you guys, give you guys a heads up of why I decided not to do the lesson. I went on and took it down as far as the live, scheduled live, because again, I want to make sure that the information that I share is vetted properly, and also want to make sure I don't forget to cover anything that, any pertinent information. All right. But I did want to transition from there to really talk to you guys about AI. I did want to talk to you guys about AI. And, I wanted to really sound the alarm. Sound the alarm. You guys know the other day I did a lesson that connected to a video about the IUIC Bishop Nathaniel that is the head of that camp, and how he was pretty much had Kenya in a stir because of teaching about Black Jesus, right? And so a lot of our people, in matter of fact, a lot of our people right now in this awakening, a lot of our people that are still in the church have been institutionalized, have been programmed to or hack, right, to embrace doctrines and ideologies that we know is completely false. It's completely off the chain. It's way out in left and right field, right? So with that being said, many of us, because of traumatic experiences, right, that was proven through Emory University, that traumatic experiences can or should I say, hack your DNA. It can hack your DNA to where behaviors, even though the future generations may not experience that same traumatic event or that traumatic experience, but they will take on the behaviors as if they had, which is called strongholds. And I may pull that up here so you guys, for those that are not familiar with that, I may even pull that up here. So traumatic experiences actually hack into your DNA and actually reprogram your whole reproductive organs to now behaviors and phobias are handed down. In this experiment, they subjected the first generation of mice to loud noises, electrical shocks when they smelt the scent of cherry blossom. So then every time they smelt that scent, that's what they were subjected to, creating those traumatic experiences. So the results in that is the next generation, their offspring, that did not experience those traumatic events, still was handed down genetically through the genetics, through DNA, the responses, the phobias. And that's important because they proved that traumatic experiences can and will hack your DNA and have you fearing things or having anxieties of things that you've never experienced, but your previous generations have experienced, and it was handed down. Why am I saying this? Our traumatic experiences that we've experienced as a people have been the perpetual slavery, the perpetual war that's been declared on our people. When you look at the time of the Maccabees, when you read the book of the Maccabees, you'll see how parallel that is to the Spanish Inquisition. And you'll see how that's all, even with the transatlantic World War, all those traumatic experiences that our people suffered, you see that purposely hacked our DNA to take on behaviors as if we were still going through some of those traumatic experiences. How we discipline our children. Have you noticed we tend to sometimes just, and it's a culture that seemed like it was right. Like I got beat with extension cords. I got beat with, belts soaking in water. I got beat with a shoe. I got beat with actually one of those old school metal scrub brushes with the metal bristles that were used to clean the toilet with. I got beat with one of those. But during the 70s, many of you guys that grew up in the 70s and the 80s and even before then, guess what? That was the norm. That was part of discipline. That today would be considered abuse. And when you think about how we have, as a people, have a unique way of chastising our children, those are behaviors, those are traumatic experiences, or the results of what we had to endure from what NASA had done to our people. All the brutalities of how they punished our people. So why am I saying this? As you see on your screen, AI generated scam, Billy Graham. There is a channel out there that is purposely using AI to regenerate or to generate Billy Graham's voice and mannerism, and now taking all the buzzwords of In This Awakening that many may gravitate to, whether it's the Book of Enoch, the Book of Jubilees, the Deuteronomy 28, have taken AI to give the impression that these are lost messages or lost sermons of Billy Graham. And I'm here to tell you, family, it is an absolute lie. The Most High will never condone using liars or making up lies to get the truth across. He's not going to have you operate in this manner. But this content creator understand that because of how we've been hacked, for some reason, we have this thing where many of our brothers and sisters will not accept truth unless it came from the very people that have oppressed us. I've proven it on this channel. Some of the largest responses to some of the videos I've uploaded in this channel was Caucasians saying that we are the people of the book. But what happens when one of our own brothers and sisters say this? Not as much attention. Family, you have people from even in the church that have created conferences to go against our community to build up wealth off of us. Then you have others that have pastors, right, that look like you and I, that have used their platform to say that we are the people of the book, but then still pushing the Christian Catholic approach to the Hebrew text with the we not under the law or the Mosaic law that is not even a biblical term, all kinds of things But they'll use the itching ear stuff, like saying we're the people of the book, to draw you in. Or even look like. Have you noticed that even pastors, since this awakening seemed like it just went to a whole nother level, now you have pastors in the church that look like you and I. Now they're wearing full beards. They're wearing dashikis. But yet they are still teaching the same. They haven't changed, but they want to look like they've changed. So when you understand what this content creator is doing, and I did a video comparing, it's supposed to be the 7 things Billy Graham has said about our people being the people of the book, and it's an absolute forgery. It's an AI generated message, and I exposed that. And I'm bringing this to your attention. I'm hoping and praying that other leaders within this awakening will start saying something. I am tired of our people being exploited, those that are truly seeking truth. We get exploited from even within this community with these scams that they go to Africa, flee to Africa scams that are happening right now, to where as though our brothers and sisters are getting scammed. Family, we have to stop condoning this behavior. I don't care who they look like or what they say, because many of us, I understand, we want to get away from the situations that we're facing right now. So what predators do, they take that and run with it. And like this person who has a YouTube channel that almost every message is utilizing an AI generated voice of Billy Graham saying all the things that we know Billy Graham didn't say. I have, in the original video that I did exposing this, I have the full video of what Billy Graham actually said about Christ, Hamashiach, about the certain things that is not in any of these AI videos. Billy Graham did not have all these hidden messages about things that's going to just so happenly, conveniently line up with a lot of the talking points in this awakening. That didn't happen like that. And family, we have to stop condoning the delusion, because even in that video, I even had some of our own brothers and sisters, if they are, say that, well, I heard Billy Graham say this. No, you didn't. I got the video. I got the full video of what he actually said. Well, it's still some of the truth. It's still saying truth. It doesn't. Yes, it do matter. Yes, it does matter. We have to stop making up excuses to accept and accepting these scammers, whether it's to flee America and go wherever doctrine, whether it's in masking it up under the second Exodus, whether it's purchasing property and all this other stuff in places that you cannot own property, factual that you're only doing is leasing, all the way to people that may look like Billy Graham with an AI generated voice, because it's the reflection of our oppressors, that many of us will just gravitate to it knowing that it's not him. Billy Graham did not have tens and tens and tens of messages stating the things that AI generated platform is doing. And I want to put the word out, family. I want to put the word out. Let's stop with the foolishness. Let's start spreading the word. Whether you like me or not, guess what? I'm sure that you guys have a heart for our people in this awakening. Put the word out and stop supporting this foolishness. You have false prophets giving prophecies that did not even amount to anything. And many of you want to sweep it up under the rug and say, well, that person is anointed. No, that person is not anointed. Come on, family. And I made sure a clip, and I'll drop the link inside the comment section when I had to expose this. AI generated scam, Billy Graham. Let me just highlight something here. A key passage that Paul wrote to the letters of the Romans. In his letter to the Romans, he wrote a very important warning. And some of you guys may understand this, may see this. He gave this warning. And before I get to it, I want to make this clear. Technology is not bad. It's how those that may take that technology and use it. AI is an adaptive program, right? Which within the next 5 years is going to basically make search engines become obsolete, like Google, like Microsoft's search engine. It's going to make those become outdated because now AI is becoming more stronger and more of an up-to-date search engine. Technology can be good depending on the hands that it's in, and it can be very bad depending on the hands that it's in. AI is an adaptive program. You've been introduced to AI far longer than what you even can imagine. Even when you Google now, guess what? You're using AI. AI is generating a lot of the responses. Google has been using AI. Microsoft has been using AI. ChatGPT is not something new, but it's how you use it. I'll use this one point and then we get into a couple of passages and I'm going to have to take it down because I don't want to be too long. But for example, ships. The prophecy of Deuteronomy. Do you guys know the prophecy of Deuteronomy 28:68? It says what is the vessel? What is the tool that, what is the tool that many, well, actually, what is the tool that the prophecies of 28:68 Deuteronomy tells us the tool that the enemy was going to use to enslave us? What was the tool? What is the tool, fans? Do you guys know this? Type it in the comment section. What is the tool? Said we were going to go back into captivity by way of what tool? If you know it, type it. If not, I'll just say it. That's right. Chris Curry, ships. Right? Chris Curry says ships. Let me see here. This StreamYard is acting kind of quirky. Pure repentance, and thank you for the love and support with the super chat. Thank you for the love and support. Really appreciate you, and family. Show some love for repentance, pure repentance heart. Thank you for the love and support. We got Elder in the building, said ships. Thank you for the love and support, Elder. Also, and let's show Elder some love, family. That is the Ama in the building. And I always show her love whenever I see her. She's been supportive of me for quite some time, even when the naysayers, popped up and called themselves, backstabbing and all that other stuff. Thank you, Ama. But she says ships. B. Lot says ships. Jerry Carroll says ships. Ivan says ships. Simo ships. He put an icon here. All right. An emoji here. Ships. Joyce Melton ships. David Taylor ships. Okay, so you guys hit it on the nose. So you know that ships is going to be used to enslave us, right? Ships was going to be used as to basically punish us, part of the judgment, right? You guys agree with that. But what was Christ preaching out of when he had his encounter with Peter? What was Hamashiach teaching from when he used as a platform to teach? Do you guys know what that is? Guess what? It was a ship. Hamashiach preached to the people from Peter's ship, and then they went fishing. And he used that as an example of how to properly, become fishers of men. We see that he used the ship. They was traveling in the ship when Peter was drowning. So the point that I'm saying is, the ship was a tool, but you know that there were ships that was used for war. There's ships that are used for slavery. That's why they call them what? Slave ships. The point that I'm making is, Technology itself is not evil. The ship itself is not evil. It's how you use it. Just like when you learn your music, when you learn music notes, whether it's the C sharp, when you start dealing with, notes like that, F, when you start dealing with those different keys, the note itself is not evil. There's no sin behind musical notes, but it's how you apply it that makes it evil. AI, used properly, can be a great tool to use. But when it gets into the wrong hands, then that's when it could be evil to a very evil tool. So Romans chapter 1, verse 21, and I'm going to read this real quick so we can put this in the proper context. Look at what Paul wrote here to the letter to the Romans, which was primarily Israelites in this assembly. Just want to add that note. But anyway, Romans chapter 1, verse 21. Let's read it. Because that when they knew Yahweh, they glorified him not as Yahweh, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the uncorruptible Yahweh into an image made like to corruptible men, or man, and to birds, and four-footed beasts, and creeping things. Wherefore Yahweh also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of Yahweh into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. Verse 26. For this cause Yahweh gave them up unto vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. Verse 27. And likewise, also the men, leaving the natural use of the women, burned in their lust one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat. And even as they did not like to retain Yahweh in their knowledge, Yahweh gave them over to a reprobate mind. Matter of fact, let me stretch this out. I thought I had it stretched out. I'm reading on my screen. Let me stretch this out. So Yahweh gave them over to a reprobate mind, to do those things which are not convenient. Verse 29, being filled with all unrighteousness. You guys know the word righteousness, sadak, means lawful. That's what sadak, that's what righteousness means in Hebrew. It means lawful. In the Greek, anomia, which means iniquity, means bender, twister, distorting of the law. But nevertheless, it says, being filled with all unrighteousness. In other words, they're not following the law, statutes, and commandments. Fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity. Excuse me for butchering the word, malignity. Whisperers, backbiters, haters of Yahweh, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents. So you notice what I have highlighted here, inventors of evil things. In some translations would say, inventing new ways to sin. And we're living in that day and time. Inventing new ways to sin, inventors of evil things. So Romans chapter 1 verse 30 is not about immoral people. It's about pioneers of wickedness. Those who aren't satisfied with existing corruption, but expand the boundaries of rebellion against Yahweh. Let me say this one more time. Romans chapter 1, verse 30 is not about immoral people. It's not just about immoral people. And these are dealing with Israelites who knew Yahweh, but completely walked away. So Romans 1 and 30 is not just about immoral people. It's about pioneers of wickedness. Those who aren't satisfied with existing corruption, but expand the boundaries of rebellion against Yahweh. Now, see, when I grew up, right, the technology that we had in the 70s and the early 80s, we had was a dime, then it went up to a quarter to put inside the payphone. That was our technology. At that time, you had the ColecoVision, you had the Atari 2600, you had the, I think, Atari 5200 as well. You had, those type of video games. The arcade, you had to go to an arcade. You rode your bikes. Those were the things that the technology that we had at that time, that's what we had. But then when you got to the latter part of the 80s, that's where the beeper was introduced. The latter part of the 80s, turning over to the 90s, right? The early 90s is when the beeper was introduced. Now you have cell phones. The video games back then versus the video games of today, right? You can have predators on these video games of today because you have social media and family. You have to be careful having your children just sitting in a room playing video games because they could have a pedophile. They can have a murderer, a killer on the other side of that platform, using that to text them and have them do, really get into their minds so that way they can creep into your household and lead them astray. We didn't have these things. Not saying that there were, we didn't have things back then that was invented to get us to indulge in certain things. But think about it today. We didn't have social media. Social media back then was someone came and knocked on your door or asked you or invited you to a party. You got an invitation, you got a flyer. And then you went to that whatever engagement you got invited to. The social media back in those days were rumors being spread by what? Word of mouth. Someone on the telephone. They used to call it the heliphone. On the telephone. Not a cell phone, on the telephone. But today, you have social media. Social media can be a good thing, but then also it can be a very bad thing. Because you have people that can pretend to be something that they're not. You have this term catfish. You have people that literally can create a profile on social media, especially in the religious sectors. They can start teaching end-time prophecy. And I've said this over and over again, end-time prophecy. If you really want to grow a channel, just teach end-time prophecy and it'll grow. Because there's always somebody that want to hear what you have to say. Things have changed, family. I remember as a freshman in college out in Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? I remember my way of calling home to let my grandmother know that I ran out of money, that I need help, right? I need help, is calling her, and she got the message on the phone. You got a collect call from, hey, Mom, I ran out of money. Need money fast. I ran out of money. Need food to eat. You got a collect call from, hey, Mom, I ran out of money. need food to eat. And then she hung up. Then later, I'll get money sent to me in the mail. My grandmother was old school. I'm going to be real with you guys. I grew up a certain way. I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. My grandmother sent me $80 worth of food stamps from like 4 books. Because you can't use Western Union to wire money. Can't use that. You can't use food stamps. But anyway, I'm just showing you how technology has changed. It could be a good thing, but it could be a bad thing. Look how cell phones right now has a major effect on social skills of the generations that the younger generation now. They can't hold a face-to-face conversation. They don't even know how to really interact with each other. I know some of you guys laughing. I see you, Ivan. I'm not going to hold it against you laughing at the brother. Yeah, that's right. They changed things, right? You know, that was grandma. You know, my grandmother, that's how she, man, I'm being honest with you. That's how we did communication, but things have changed. So Romans 1:30 is not just about immoral people. It's about pioneers of wickedness, those who aren't satisfied with existing corruption, but expand the boundaries of rebellion against Yahweh. Tools like 11 Labs and Voice AI can now clone a voice using just a few minutes of audio, replicate the speech, patterns, breathing, and even emotional tone. Combine clone voices with AI written content to fabricate sermons, interviews, or even prophecies that sound exactly like the original speaker. Let me say that again. For those who think that, you know, when you go to this Billy Graham scam artist, this channel that is exploiting our community, all they want to do is build subscribers and make money. They have one video that have almost 1 million views. And I exposed that video here. So again, tools like 11 Lab and Voice AI can now clone a voice using just a few minutes of audio, replicate speech patterns, breathing, and even emotional tone, combine clone voices with AI written content to fabricate sermons, interviews, or prophecies that sound exactly like the original speaker. You can tell it's fake. You can listen to the pauses in the voices, the clips in the voices. You can listen to the method, should I say, just even the voice patterns. You can listen to it and tell that it's AI fabricated. It's AI generated. But that particular site is purposely using Billy Graham. Why? Because that person knowing or believe that our people will be quicker to listen to a face like this than a face like mine, a face like yours. So family, we have to stop it. We have to stop allowing this stuff to happen. Whether you agree with my teachings or not, whether you agree with the content on this channel or not, one thing we can agree, we have to stop the scammers. We have to stand in unity to stop this scamming. This scamming right here and the other scammers that scamming schemes or get rich schemes or whatever that is circulating in this community. Let me point out something real quick in 2 Thessalonians, right? Let me see here. Let me get to this one quick point. And what's interesting here, when it deals with the son of perdition, right? It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. You guys already know these are the descendants of Japheth. Japheth is the son of perdition. I did a lesson on it. Look it up. It's there. I really went in proving this. Okay, so he has sons. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called Elohim, or that is worshipped, so that he as Yahweh sit in the temple of Yahweh, showing himself that he is Yahweh. Right? So this is what? Showing the images like we see Caesar Borgia inside inside the worship place, an image that looked like our very oppressors. And they want to pretend that they are what? Papa. You know, Pope means what? Papa. Pops. Father. And where is he? And what have he done? What has he done? Trying to pretend that he is Yahweh. Showing himself that he is Yahweh. But it's what? Sitteth in the temple of Yahweh, showing himself that he is Yahweh. Verse 5. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know that withholdeth, and now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. But let me go to verse 9. This is key. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, Hasatan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish. In other words, unrighteousness, unlawful, going against the law, statutes, and commandments. 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 3 and 4. For the time will come when they, Israelites, when they will not endure sound doctrine. Israelites and those that are following the Most High through his son Hamashiach will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lusts shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears. We see that happening right now. Social media makes it easy. And they shall turn away their ears from the truth. It shall be turned unto fables. Turn to fables, family. And family, this is serious. This is a serious thing that we have to discuss. This is a serious thing that we have to discuss. Because again, many would think that this is okay. They think that by any means necessary, get the truth out. Create these lies. Create the lie of Billy Graham, lying on Billy Graham. And I don't roll with Billy Graham. I want to make that clear. But they want to use the voice of Billy Graham to try to teach the truth. Will the Most High say it's okay? Or does the Most High say it's okay inside the scriptures? Saying that it's okay to use a lie to teach truth? I'm here to tell you that the scriptures consistently condemns the use of lies or deceit when the intent appears to be for a so-called greater good or to push a version of the truth. The truth in scripture is something set apart, and using false, or should I say falsehoods, to advance it corrupts the very message. It corrupts the very message, family. So don't think that, for those that think that it's okay, that the Most High say, hey, go ahead, teach lies. Use a medium of lies to push this truth. No, the Most High does not operate that way. Well, I know some of you guys will say, okay, we'll prove it. There's plenty of passages that we could go to, like Romans chapter 3, verse 7 and 8. I don't have it on the screen, but it reads, for if the truth of Yahweh hath more abundance through my lie unto his glory, why yet am I also judged as a sinner, and not rather? In other words, as we be slanderously reported, and as some affirm that we say, let us do evil that good may come, whose damnation is just. So Paul clearly rejects the idea that doing evil, in other words, lying, can bring about good, such as revealing truth. Those who suggest this approach are condemned, whose damnation is supposedly just. So Paul said, let us do, let me read that again. Verse 7 and 8 of Romans chapter 3. For if the truth of Yahweh had more abounded through my lie unto his glory, why yet am I also judged as a sinner? So he's saying if the lie is supposed to be just as important, that the Most High can use a lie, he said, if that's the case, then why would you be judged as a sinner? Because Paul is saying that he actually lied, because Paul was living a lie. He was persecuting his own brothers and sisters. And not rather, in other words, as we be slanderously reported, and as some affirm that we say, let us do evil, that good may come, whose damnation is just. Then we have Proverbs chapter 12, Verse 22, lying lips are abomination to Yahweh, but they that deal truly are his delight. So not just sin is an abomination, right? Let me say that again. Not just sin, not just sin. In other words, there's no truth, there's no righteousness in sin. Not just sin. There's no such thing as righteous sin. Just. In ancient Hebrew is connected to the word sadak, which means lawful. So there's no such thing as just or righteous sin. An abomination. It is an abomination, period. No justification or intention, even if for the truth makes a lie acceptable to Yahweh. Come on, that's not biblical. The Most High don't need to have any deceptions and using the guise of saying that there is some truth to it. That's how many in this awakening, and even in the church, I'm not just going to say this awakening, especially our people, that's how many want to use deceptively, use lies, use sprinkles of the truth to continuously embrace lies. That's true, family. Proverbs 19:5, a false witness shall not be unpunished, but he that speaketh lies shall not escape. So even if the lie is meant to support a righteous cause, Scripture promises judgment. There are no loopholes for righteous deception. Zechariah chapter 18, verse 16 through 17. These are the things that ye shall do. Speak ye every man the truth to his neighbor, and let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbor, and love no false oath, for all these are things that I hate, saith Yahweh. So Yahweh makes it clear that he hates lies, and that these lies is directly connected to, in other words, when people try to use these lies and try to connect it to the covenant of restoration. You know, many will say, well, you know, I'm putting this out there just so that way we can get the truth out there. No, the Most High don't need you to lie in order to bring or spread the message of reconciliation. In Paul's letter to the Ephesians, you know, he says this, Ephesians 4, verse 25, wherefore, putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members of one another. So Paul is saying, abandoning all forms of lying, even in the midst of spiritual warfare. Guess what? Don't embrace lying. You know, correct the error. If you know that there's a lie, or even if there's something that you may have done intentionally, but it was a lie, correct it. Exodus 23, verse 1, thou shalt not raise a false report. Put not thine hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. So this commandment implies that even a lie in favor of truth becomes an unrighteous witness. It contaminates justice and truth. So taking Billy Graham's voice is a lie. So that channel is an unrighteous witness, according to Exodus 23, verse 1. Thou shalt, that is a commandment. Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness. In other words, twisting evil as though it were good. In other words, using a lie to push a righteous cause is condemned as spiritual corruption. So nevertheless, using lies to try to support truth is not only rejected by the scriptures, It is considered evil, deceptive, and worthy of judgment. The truth must be presented in spirit and in truth, according to John chapter 4, verse 24, with no deceit, no guile, and no manipulation. Even Yahweh Shai said in Matthew chapter 5, verse 37, let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. Whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil. Come on, family. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. I know that this is not a popular message, but it's right. Like my old pastor used to say, it's tight, but it's right. We have to stop condoning this stuff. We have to stop condoning foolishness. We have to call it out, family. With that being said, I really appreciate you guys for jumping on. And matter of fact, let me get that quick video I did calling out this lie, right? And the channel is called Faithful Mind. Faithful Mind. And I'm telling you, they're building up a channel, and just about every video is using a Billy Graham AI voice. And the video that really got a lot of views on. Let me see if it's still there. It was the video. It may have gotten taken down. Let me make sure. I think it may have gotten taken out. This may be another channel spinning off the other channel. Yeah, I believe this is another channel. Forbidden Knowledge. Yeah. This one has a video called Forbidden Knowledge, Why the Ethiopian Bible was banned. Right? This is a lie. Right? So let me pull up the video that I did, and I'm going to drop it in. This looks like this is another channel having spinoffs. So this particular channel has 52 videos, and in a short period of time, this video has almost this channel almost 8,000 subscribers. It says it was joined February 18th, 2025. So this is a fairly new channel. So quite possibly the original video was taken down. The original channel may have been taken down, so they created another channel. This could be a spinoff of that channel. So let me see here. Let me go to my channel here, and let me go to this video. Come on. Let me go to this. I think I did a live. No, I did a video upload. That video, yes, that video was originally titled 7 Shocking Truths About Black People in the Bible. So I'm going to copy this video link. It's a short video, it's 8 minutes, and I expose that lie. Let me put it over here. And I encourage you guys to watch the video. Listen with intelligence. That's the video that I did on this. And let me do a search to see if this video is still up. This channel is still up, because they could have quite possibly, when I say they, the Billy Graham estate could have gotten whiff of what this channel was doing and could have easily had it taken down. So it could possibly be the original channel was taken down. But let me see if it's still there or not. Then I'm going to have to go. Yes. Actually, this particular channel. Oh, wait, let me make sure. Before I get there, let me make sure. Yeah, it looks like it's quite possible the original video was taken down and that others are using this video and copying it to their channel. See, family, this is how lies spread. It's interesting how, it doesn't take much for lies to be spread, right? But again, the truth, no one wants the truth. Let me see here. Yeah, I think they may have taken the video down. They may even took the channel down. But you have spinoffs that are popping up. I see other people that have used this video. But let me see. Let me go to the original video that I did. But I know they did a video called 7 Shocking Truths About Black People in the Bible, which that video was a complete forgery, AI generated. And now you have a spinoff, and it may be the same people that are doing this. Let me see here. Yeah, they may have taken that down. But let me give you the original video. So I do have the original video of what Billy Graham actually said. And I'm going to copy the video here, the link here. So if you hear it, and I encourage you guys, I don't roll with Billy Graham, but I want to make sure that at least if you hear or see any more videos come in your feed about Billy Graham, right? You know that it's a forgery. Here's the actual video. This is the original video. And in the link that I initially posted, I actually highlight some of the things that are completely a lie that AI generated video put out there with the actual sermon of what Billy Graham actually stated. So I'll post it inside the comment section, or should I say inside the chat. And family, I'm going to have to get ready to get out of here. And you guys know how we do. We're getting ready for Passover. Not Passover, Feast of Unleavened Bread. We're already in Feast of Unleavened Bread, but we're getting ready to prepare for our actual celebration for us this Thursday. We're going to be off site. So looking forward to that. So I'm going to try to get some videos up and going. I'm going to try to get over the next few days, Blotted Out Part 2 out there, so I can really get that series going. And Hebrew Connect TV, I'm starting to upload content over there because I'd rather support something that's our own and that we don't have to deal with the censorship that YouTube is doing. But again, be on the lookout for the video I'm going to upload about Kanye West. Is there a method to his madness? I want to break that down. But nevertheless, family, really appreciate you. And I want to say shout outs to Twan. I see you. Hey, Elder, it's me, Twan. Hey, shout outs to you, Twan. Great hearing from you, man. Let's connect. Let's connect this week, man. I'm doing some things, man. I've been on the go here, but feel free to reach out to me offline. With that being said, family, in the words of Yahweh, in Exodus chapter 14, verse 13 and 14, that he had given to Moses to encourage the children of Israel. He told them to fear ye not, stand still, see the salvation of Yahweh. These Egyptians that you see here today, they will not have power over you again. The Most High will fight for you. But here's the kicker, family. We have to hold our peace. Can't go back, can't stay here, keep moving forward. Shalom.
Listen, Genesis chapter 11 verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this back, Genesis 14 verse 13, Abraham steps on the scene. Being a descendant of Shem, which is a fact, means Abraham too was black. Abraham, born in the city of a black man, called Nimrod, grandson of Ham. Ham had 4 sons. One was named Canaan. Here, let me do some explaining. Abraham, Isaac was the Jacob had 12 sons, for real, and these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, these were the children of Israel.